Today we are Christmas crafting on a budget as I transform some thrift store finds into some beautiful decor or gifts. Welcome to CreArtive by Nature DIY and Decor. My name is Donna. I found this lantern at Value Village for $2.99 and let me tell you, it's seen better days. You can see it had been transformed several times and the glass is missing. I wanted to renew it by giving it a coat of the heirloom white satin Rust-Oleum spray paint. I tried to distress this piece, but it just wasn't working out. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna just try out the spray paint. And I have to say, I am really loving how this turned out. The spray paint held on really, really well. So once I gave it a few coats, I allowed it to dry and set. And now I'm gonna decorate the inside. I dove into my stash of bottle brush trees. I applied a lot of glue on the bottom of that tree and pressed it into the center of the inside of this lamp. I'm also going to be using some battery operated fairy lights. This particular set has the cork bottle type battery pack, but you can use any battery pack that you have. I just like the size of this as I wanted to place this battery pack on the inside of this lantern. I'm going to be using these Velcro pieces to adhere to the battery pack. It just makes it easier to pull it in and out so I can change out the batteries as needed. Just make sure you have the Velcro attached on the opposite side of the switch and the battery pack just so that those are accessible. I just removed the backing and I'm placing it where I can access that battery pack easily so I can turn that switch on or off. All right, so you could use these lights any way you'd like. If you want to wrap them around your tree, go right ahead. I just loosely placed them inside. I wanted it to look like dancing little fireflies around the tree. Next, I then used just some hot glue and I applied some to the bottom of the lantern and then pressed this fiber fill into place. That hid the base of the tree and also kind of gave it a nice snowy look. I'm going to be using this as a night light in my kids' bathroom. So I thought that this casual look would look really, really nice. I just wanted one last little touch, so I dove into my stash of ribbon. I found this really pretty striped neutral ribbon from Dollar Tree in my stash, and I just tied off a simple basic bow. And that's it. This project couldn't be any easier and would make a great gift or Christmas decor. So for this next piece, my mom found this free at the side of the road and grabbed it for me. It is such a unique piece. It's a pedestal recipe holder. And I thought it was so cool. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So I just had to pop those little rings out so I could remove the index cards. And then this here, the flower is actually just a decal. It's not hand painted. So I didn't feel bad about what I'm about to do. So I'm just gonna clean it up and then using that Rust-Oleum heirloom white satin spray paint, I took it out to my garage and gave it 2 to 3 coats of the spray paint. Again, it held really, really well. I was quite impressed with it. So once I had it all coated, I allowed it to dry well. And while that was drying, I'm going to work on the cards. So I thought these index cards would be great to use for, say, a prayer list or maybe your family's favorite Bible verses or quotes. But I want to use mine as an advent calendar. So I grabbed a selection of some beautiful scrapbook paper that I got from Michael's last year at end of season, believe it or not. I'm using the index cards that came with it as my template, so I'm just measuring them out and then I'll know the dimensions that will fit really well. Now this was less than 3 inches wide, but I just made it an even 3 inches just for ease of cutting. So as you can see, I'm using my Fiskars paper trimmer. I've got that linked in my Amazon favorites, but you can find these at craft stores, places at like Walmart or stationery stores as well. So I cut out several pieces. I think I had, a total of 25 of assorted papers. I wanted one for each day in December. Now, of course, make adjustments to suit what you want to use it for. Say if you are going to be following a specific Advent plan, then of course you can make those adjustments accordingly. So I've got all my papers all sorted out, and now I am going to do the hole punching. So I'm using, again, one of the original cards as my template, marked out where the holes need to be, used just a basic hole punch and punched those holes as needed. Now, to make it go a little bit faster, I stacked 2 of the cards on top of each other and used the card, as you can see, as my template. So I'm just going to go through all of these until I've got that done. Now I'm going to start to decorate just one of the cards, just to give you an idea. I'm using a corner rounder paper punch. I like the look of it. I thought it would look really pretty. Just gives it a little bit of a decorative touch. And now I'm also distressing the edges with some Distress Oxide ink in the peeled paint color. It's a pretty green color, and you can see it just gives it a hint of color along the edge, but feel free to do anything you would like on your cards. Now, just for a little decoration, I've got a selection of stickers and stamps, even word stickers. Of course, use whatever is in your stash. I'm just going to make sure that whatever I put on my cards is nice and flat. So I really like these stickers that I had in my stash. I like the natural nature look. I really love this red cardinal, and then I wanted to add a word onto this as well. So I'll just remove the backing of the stickers and put them into place on top of the card. So you can pre-decorate these as you'd like, or decorate as you go through each day of the month, however you want. There are so many options to this. Another idea to decorate is to use the little cutter parts from paper pads as well. You can just glue those down. That would be really pretty. And this is another fun idea. So if you haven't heard of December Daily, it's just where you document every day in the month of December. And this is one that I did back in 2017. And it's a great family memento. The kids can get involved, or grandkids. And I will leave a link explaining how December Daily works below, but I thought this would be really fun to place on the pedestal as well. And it's so fun to take part in. Okay, so the paint is all dry, and now I'm going to just distress the edges a little bit. I wanted the wood grain to come through just a little, not too much. So I'm just using a coarse grain or coarse grit sandpaper. I'm just going around the edges, and I'm even going in those little grooves, as you can see right there, just to have that wood grain pop through just a little bit. Of course, you can distress it in as much as you want. It's just personal preference. I have to say the spray paint worked really well for this piece. All right, so I added my cards back on, and of course you can add any Advent plan you'd like, or if you want to do December Daily or Bible verses, whatever you would like to do. So I am just going to add just a little decoration at the base by adding a little mini wreath of pip berries. And again, decorate this any way you would like. At the top there above the cards, you could put something there as well, but I decided to leave mine blank, so I have the option of using this year round. There are so many different options on how to use this piece. I am absolutely loving it, and I can't wait to put it to use. I found this really big shadow box for $2. I couldn't believe that it was only $2. I picked it up at our local thrift store and it was a bit beaten up. Somebody had put a candle in there, so there was wax dripped on the inside and there were some scuff marks and it was just really dirty inside, so I had to give it a good cleaning. So I just used a sanding block to get rid of all that wax. And then I used a cream colored antique white and just a flat matte black paint. And I gave this a good paint. Now, I will admit, I did struggle with the white paint a bit. It came out really blotchy, but I thought, you know what? It just adds to that rustic charm that I really like. So I just went with it. So I just gave this piece 2 coats of my white, off-white antique white paint, allowed it to dry well, and then I also painted the black. Now I could have just left the black, but I didn't like how shiny it was. So I went ahead and gave this, I believe it was 3 coats of the matte black. Now I could have spray painted it, but then that would have meant I had to tape off all the white paint or the white walls on the inside. So I just decided to go ahead and give it 3 coats of the black paint. So I had allowed it all to dry well, and now to decorate the inside. I went into my stash of bottle brush trees and I just grabbed a couple of sizes, and then I also went into my stash of foraged branches. Of course, if you know me by now, I love using branches and other natural elements in my decor whenever I can, so I thought this would be perfect for this particular project. I'm just snipping them down to size until they fit inside, and I'm just gluing them to the back. So another really nice touch would be to use some scrapbook paper at the back if you didn't like all that black. All right, so now I dove into my stash of battery operated fairy lights. I like this particular type because it's got a really small battery pack. I picked it up a few years ago from my local dollar store, but of course use whatever you can get your hands on. Again, I'm just using some Velcro on the bottom of the battery pack just to make it easier to take in and out and change the batteries as needed. This has got a total of 30 lights on it. It provides a really beautiful glow for this piece. So I just am starting to anchor down the fairy lights, and then I am going to start to weave them around the branches on the back. If anything comes loose, then of course, please feel free to add more glue as needed. So as I was going along, I decided to turn the lights on because then I could see the placement of the fairy lights better. That's just a little tip that I like to do. I don't know why I didn't do it to start, but now I have done that, and it's making it so much easier to see where I need to put those little lights. So I'm partway through my strand, and then I decided that I wanted to put my bottle brush trees into place so I can weave some of those fairy lights into the trees. So another fun little idea would be to add some little woodland critters if you'd like. I decided to keep mine simple just by using the branches, lights, and the bottle brush trees. So here you can see I'm just going in and adding just a little bit of hot glue here and there as some of the pieces came loose. And then I am going to go in and add some more branches. Now the reason why I'm doing that is because I wanted to camouflage some of those wires that you can see in the background, and this helped to do just that. right, so once you have all your decorative elements into place, you can then start to use some fiber fill as your snow or whatever else you have that you like to use for snow. Again, I'm just using hot glue and then pressing that fiber fill into place just to camouflage the base of the tree as well as the battery pack. I decided to add this cute little gold sparkle tree as just a focal point. I really like the look of that. I think it looks so pretty and whimsical. And then that is it. I am so impressed with how this turned out, and the glow is just so magical. Here is a recap of all the pieces that we made, and then I will be showing you the before and after of each project. I would absolutely love to know which project was your favorite, or if you plan on making any of these items, or maybe if there's a little tweak that you would make. For more Christmas inspiration, you can check out this video here to the right. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.